Today is going to be an incredible day. I have made my miraculous return to the experimental prototype community of tomorrow known as Epcot. And there it is, Epcot, Spaceship Earth. That is going to be my first stop of the day to finally ride that again. I had come to peace with the fact that I probably wasn't going to be able to ride it again, but I'm going to be able to ride it again because they postponed the refurbishment. Hooray! Now I just have to head through temperature checks, through security, and then into the park. And I successfully made it through the temperature screening and the security checkpoint. Now I'm heading into Epcot. It looks like they finished the other side of the entrance area over here. That's going to be cool to check out. It's weird to see it with really nobody at all out here. It's very weird. But it's going to be a nice day today. I'm very excited to be back. Okay, I am incredibly excited about the near completion of this project. This looks beautiful. Just all of the plants, the foliage, the trees. This is an incredible improvement over the tombstones, the monoliths that used to be here. And right now, the fact that there's nobody out here, wow, this is cool. So just the final phase of this is going to be completing the fountain and then adding in the spires, I guess, on top of the fountain. There it is, Spaceship Earth, my first stop of the day. I haven't said hello yet, so hello from Epcot. I was finally able to get a park pass reservation for Epcot. My blockouts were at least temporarily lifted. Brennan is still blocked out with her annual pass, but I was finally able to get one to come back to Epcot, which I don't know how often I'm gonna be able to go to the parks, if it's gonna be relatively frequently or maybe not at all, but I wanted to take advantage of it today to finally come back, because Epcot has been open for about 3 weeks now, almost a month, and I haven't come to check it out, and a lot has potentially changed, but some things haven't, like Spaceship Earth, so that's why I'm gonna go ride it first and foremost. I'm getting here a little bit after noon, and it is very, very quiet. I can see why they've altered their park pass reservation availability a little bit, catering towards annual pass holders and now cast members, so that's good. Just giving the opportunity for people to get into the theme parks right now, it's really pleasant. It's a good place to feel comfortable and be safe. So my first stop is of course going to be Spaceship Earth with an absolutely 0-minute wait. It's going to be a complete walk-on.
It takes 15,000 years to come up with a business right out here, recording our knowledge on cave walls. There's only one small problem. When we moved, the recorded knowledge stayed behind. This unknown Egyptian pounding reeds flat is inventing papyrus. Papyrus in turn creates better records, plans, designs, and unfortunate artifacts. Each civilization has its own form of writing, which none of the others can understand. But the Phoenicians, who trade with the world, have a future. They create adaptable to those difficulties. Remember how easy it was to learn your ABCs? Like the Phoenicians, the ancient Greeks were great inventors of the future. First, they established public schools, and then began teaching an intriguing new subject called mathematics. The lessons learned from the Greeks, the Romans created powerful empires. To move their armies around, they built a system of roads all over the known world. Rome built the first worldwide way, but then we hit a roadblock. Rome falls, and the great library of Alexandria in Egypt is burned. It turns out there are copies of some of these books in the libraries of the Middle East, being watched over by Arab and Jewish scholars. The first backup system. The books are saved, and with them our dreams of the future. In 1850, Gutenberg invents the movable type printing press. Now knowledge can travel as fast as these new books, and travel they do. Books make it easier to invent the future in every field, and the result is an incredible explosion in innovation we call the Renaissance. Now communication technology races headlong into the future, and all over the world sharing life's most important news faster than ever before.
Get it, girl.
Young people with a passion for shaping the future will put the power of the computer in everyone's hands. Together we form a super network that glows with billions of interactions.
Attention. You are now rotating backward for your return to Earth. Please remain seated, time travelers.
Welcome back, time travelers. Now, we invite you to visit Project Tomorrow, where new ideas and innovations are being developed to make the world a better place.
It is definitely very eerie to see Project Tomorrow this quiet and deserted. All of the interactive exhibits are off right now. Even the main screen here showcasing where everybody is from is off. This is odd. This is normally one of the really high trafficked areas. It's still super eerie to get off of Spaceship Earth and not be able to go into Future World in that direction, but it looks like it's getting a little bit more popular. They actually opened up the line, the extended queue for the line, so that's kind of interesting. Now I could go into Future World over here by, this is by guest relations, the bit of interventions that's actually still being utilized. This and mouse gear back over there, but I usually go the other direction, so I guess I should keep that up for consistency's sake. See, it's getting a little bit busier and more popular as the day continues. Can't head back there. There's still a wall back there, and then this interventions building is still here, even though it's supposed to come down at some point. I'm pretty positive if they're going to follow the plans for the new Moana attraction that's still slated to come here. Some projects have been postponed, like the Spaceship Earth refurbishment, as well as the Mary Poppins attraction that was supposed to come to the UK. Disney has been very tight-lipped about that in general, so I'm hoping that it's just going to be postponed and not indefinitely canceled. There were a plethora of projects that Disney did have planned for Epcot, so it only makes sense that a few of them would be postponed, and if none of them get canceled at all, that would be the ideal, obviously. There's also the 3-layered pavilion that's supposed to go where the Fountain of Nations was, that they haven't, I don't think that they've really said anything about that, but it's hard to tell this early out, to be honest. But a lot of the projects that they started a while ago, those are definitely still in full force, like Guardians of the Galaxy, Ratatouille. I don't know, it's also kind of weird that there's no monorail going by right now, because usually there's monorails going from the TTC to Epcot, but they have not done that at all because they discontinued park hopping for the time being. I definitely do want to come back to the land maybe a little bit later to ride Soarin', because I haven't done that in a while, but I'd like to prioritize some food because I'm kind of getting a little bit hungry. So I've seen a substantial amount of this online, but way over there, you can kind of see him. I think he's heading out, but there's Winnie the Pooh. He was catching some bees. Wait, no, that's dumb. Winnie the Pooh was catching butterflies, not bees. You don't catch bees. That's dangerous and dumb. He probably went to go get honey from the 100-acre wood. That, or it just started, or it's about to rain. So he's just trying to protect his little head from the rain. He didn't have an umbrella, he just had a butterfly net. So because it's potentially about to rain, I definitely do want to expedite my trip around the showcase to try to eat some festival food today, because the Food and Wine Festival has started, or a taste of the Food and Wine Festival, so I want to see if I can try to get a couple scrumptious items. There's Test Track way over there in the distance, and that's another ride that I would love to try to do today if the time frame worked out for it. Heading into the World Showcase, and there are not a lot of people over here, but it is the middle of the day too. So something that I didn't think that I would need to address, but I want to go ahead and clarify just because, is even though the parks are empty and even though it's going to be a little bit more spatially comfortable to come to the parks right now, I'm not advertising whatsoever to come to the parks during a pandemic. I thought that that was something that just didn't need to be said, but I guess it's something that should be clarified again, because it's not the safest time to come here, but it is going to be a different experience if you're willing to put up with the implemented procedures and you feel safe and comfortable and healthy in order to come here. That's something that's going to be on the people making the decision that want to come here, honestly. And it is a nice experience, but these parks are meant to have people in them. So at the same time that it's very interesting to see it as quiet as it is, I want this place to be jam-packed full of people, and I want it to be back to normal. That said, all I can do personally is just come to the parks to support them, because they've been such a symbol of normal for me for so long, and just enjoy them. Come to them when I'm feeling safe, comfortable, and healthy, and hope that one day it'll be a little bit different and a little bit better. Not that it's bad, but want it to be a little bit different in a positive way. Okay, with that out of the way, I can get back to why I came here, which is to just enjoy it and eat some food today, because that is what it's all about. I went ahead and I opened the My Disney Experience app, which is where you can find the food menus at the different booths that they do have available for this taste of the International Food and Wine Festival. So there's just a few of them. It's a limited modified menu, but there should be something that I like. First up is the Islands of the Caribbean menu. They have an empanada, jerk spice chicken, and then coconut flan with a passion fruit cake. That sounds pretty good, but I think I'm gonna go and bypass that just for now. Today may be more about trying some festival favorites as opposed to trying new foods, just in terms of what I would love to really spend my money on today and just what would make me feel comfortable and normal back at Epcot. I don't know if I'm gonna show every menu, probably, because that's kind of just what I do. Hopefully I can do so before the rain, but we will see. But I do have a few foods in mind. A few foods. Oh, you know what I'm trying to say. I have a few foods in mind that I want to try for sure. This is Earth Eats. They have the Impossible Farmhouse Meatball, the Impossible Burger Slider, and a chocolate pudding terrarium. Definitely feeling something more savory right now, and don't know if I'm in the mood for something impossible. Mexico has ribeye tacos and pork tostadas. Those actually sound pretty good. Maybe I'll get one of those actually. Okay, so I ended up getting in line for Mexico, and I did get the ribeye, so I'm gonna try to find a spot that may be a little bit more secluded than others have been, and I'll go to town on this. This was $7, so a little bit more expensive than I'd like the foods to be here, but I'm hungry, so I'm gonna eat it. Okay, so this is a ribeye taco with ribeye steak and ranchera salsa and a corn tortilla topped with onions, chives, and a lime wedge. Ooh, really taste those chives. That's good. Did not know that was gonna be worth $7. I think so. Well, that was honestly delicious, but it was a very small portion, so if anything, it just triggered my desire to eat more food around the World Showcase, but I think I'm gonna make a stop in here to visit the Three Caballeros. Okay, here I am in the queue for the Grand Fiesta Tour, and this is something that I definitely saw, which is a little bit jarring. These plexiglass walls and just how close they are. This is pretty intense. Like, I don't even think that the Thunder Mountain ones were this narrow and claustrophobic. They're not terrible, as bad as I thought that they would be, but every single down and back is open, so it really kind of subjects you to it. So I currently have my own boat on the Grand Fiesta Tour, which is something that has never happened before. I've never ridden this completely by myself, so I'm excited. But there is one attribute to this ride that is got a little bit of notability, I guess, in the past few days that I'm excited to see if it's really the case. I haven't ridden this in so long. Not really so long comparatively to how often some people ride it, but it is just a good, comforting ride to be back on. A little bit odd to be by myself, but I like it. A lot of good feelings going on right now. Okay, we are coming up on what I really wanted to see, which you'll see in just a second. Hopefully, it's not that big of a deal, but it's something that I think is going to be pretty interesting. Okay, and it looks like there are only 2 Caballeros. Oh no, what happened to Jose? It's just Donald and Panchito. That makes me a little bit sad. The Jose animatronic had a little issues the other day, so now there's just 2 Caballeros.
We sing that with samba, we shout. What means ay caramba? Who is? I don't know. Caballeros, drinking caballeros, they say we are birds of a feather.
Okay, all done riding the Grand Fiesta Tour. That was fun. That was a nice way to get out of the sun for sure. So it looks like the weather is getting a little bit closer, so I'm gonna continue my walk around the World Showcase. I don't think I'm gonna stop for Frozen Ever After because it looks like that line goes all the way to China, almost. Something that I was curious about is that it looks like the Akershus, which is the Royal Banquet Hall, the Princess Dining location, is a relaxation station. So I mostly wanted to stop inside here because I've never been in this restaurant before, because it is Princess Dining, so it's a little bit more on the expensive side. I believe that this is the main banquet hall. And there's nobody else in here with me currently, so it's just really neat to see it like this, just completely empty. So this is a cool opportunity to check out some places that you may not otherwise have the ability to, depending on the availability of it. I did want to eat here at some point, but might be a little bit off from here for sure. Looks like this is where you'd retrieve your food. Interesting. Okay, guess I'm gonna head back outside and keep sojourning around the World Showcase. Another little seating area in here. It seems like a relatively small restaurant comparatively to other ones. One last quick stop over into the other corner of the restaurant, just to really take it all in before I'm not able to do this anymore. These are windows that I believe look out into, yeah, there's China right outside, and then everybody waiting for Frozen Ever After. But okay, now I'm gonna head back outside and continue around the World Showcase. This was cool. This is the physically distanced line for Frozen Ever After, and I was just back there in that building, right there. China, I don't think I'm gonna get anything at China today. They have chicken dumplings and Mongolian beef bao buns, which those are really good, those bao buns, but I think I'm gonna head over to Germany. On the way over to Germany though, is Africa with the spicy Kenyan veggie, or vegan corn and white beans, and the piri piri skewered shrimp. That shrimp sounds good, but I have my heart set on Germany. And here's the Germany Pavilion. They have Schickenudeln, roast bratwurst, and apple strudel. I am gonna be getting the Schickenudeln. There's some pretty loud music that just started, so I think something's about to happen. Okay, so it's a cavalcade. There's Pluto, and there's Goofy, and then right over here is Mickey and Minnie. Hello! Good to see ya. Well, that's fun. And then they go heading down the streets all the way around the World Showcase. Okay, time to get in line and get some Schickenudeln. So the Schickenudeln has fluctuated in terms of size over the years, but look at how massive this is. This is the biggest that I've ever seen it. I think the Schickenudeln is probably the best bang for your buck at the festival because it's relatively cheap and you get so much generally. And it's pretty much just ham, mac, and cheese, but that will fill you up. Okay, so I found a spot over by the water. You can see that the weather is rolling in pretty bad. This is still over in Germany, but it's just warm and soft, cheesy. It's good. It's a very safe dish, I think, and just so affordable. So right now there's a pretty significant swelling of Frozen music over by the Norway and the China pavilions that I think just concluded because I think Anna and Elsa just completed a lap around the World Showcase. I think that's where they start and stop. And then also I just saw some lightning over there, so it looks like weather is on the way. And I didn't get to see their promenade, I guess, but one of these days I'll be sure to catch it. Something that I'm really just not getting used to is the lack of crowds. Right now it is just so comfortable walking around Epcot, which I've been conditioned is abnormal, so it feels very abnormal. I don't know, it's very comfortable, which is odd to me. But next up is the Italy Pavilion. I don't see any trains over here. I think that they just took them up because it's about to probably thunderstorm, which is interesting. Okay, off to Italy. Right now I'm just trying to beat that weather that is probably indefinitely on its way over here. Italy has margarita? Oh, a flatbread with tomato sauce and mozzarella cheese, so it's a little pizza, it sounds like. La Classica, and then a cannoli Siciliani. That is, it's pretty good. I never get anything here, and I want to get something at some point, but I just had a cannoli just a couple days ago, so I do want to get something sweet, but maybe I'll find it in the American Adventure. You see all the leaves coming off the trees right now? Whoa. This is going to be a pretty intense storm. That's windy, isn't it? Whew. Something I'm really sad about is I believe right now would be the Awesome Mix Live show going on during the summer here at Epcot, but it's obviously not going on. They do have some entertainment over here, but not the Guardians of the Galaxy. So the American Adventure Hops and Barley Market has a New England lobster roll, Southern seafood boil, and then a freshly baked carrot cake. There's the entertainment I was just talking about. They have the Marimba de las Americas, and then the Jammers. Well, that's cool. So even though it is incredibly good, I'm gonna go ahead and bypass the carrot cake for now, in lieu of something potentially new. I don't think I'm gonna get anything here in Japan. They have the tempura donburi, frothy ramen, and chirashi shushi flower pot. I said that terribly. Okay, next up is Morocco with the beef klepta pockets, spicy hummus fries, and chocolate baklava. You know what? I think I'm gonna get that baklava. I think I'm gonna do it. So here it is. This is the chocolate baklava, which I don't think that I've ever had before. And I'm over here right behind the Moroccan Pavilion. This used to be a smoking section, but smoking is no longer permitted at Disney. So it's a nice, quiet little area. I'm excited. That is so good. It's perfectly crunchy, and that dark chocolate. And almonds. You know, it's weird. I'm not really a nut fan unless it's with something sweet. I think that was the perfect way to end my trip to the food festival this year as far as just consuming the food goes. I got my protein in the form of that ribeye, I got my starch in the chicken-noodling, and then I got my dessert in the form of a baklava. I'm still gonna check out the menus for the rest of the booths though, but I'm feeling very, very satisfied. The Brazilian booth has a few returning favorites, especially this pão de queijo. Did I pronounce that? I don't know. The Brazilian cheese bread. Brennan loves that so much. And then they have the crispy pork belly. So that may be something to consume on a future trip. It's a little bit sad because a lot of the table service restaurants, as well as a good amount of the gift shops, are non-accessible. They're not open right now. But it makes sense that they're gonna have to be pretty strategic about what restaurants and quick service restaurants that they do operate. Well, that's just a little bit sad. The France booth has the, I'm not gonna try to pronounce that, but a goat cheese tart. They have a braised duck option, and then a brioche cake. There you go. France is looking pretty quiet. And then back over here, there's that Ratatouille sign right next to the Skyliner. And this area, from what I've seen from people posting pictures from the Skyliner, is very, very near completion. It kind of makes you wonder if we would be riding Ratatouille right now, because it is summer 2020, and that is, I think, when it was slated to open. There were a few projects that were supposed to open around spring or summer of 2020 at just all of the theme parks. Patience is a virtue, right? We just gotta get through this. There's optimism and positivity out there on the other side somewhere. We just gotta get there. I've reached the UK Pavilion and I felt my first drop of rain, so it may be starting to rain here very soon, but there is a place that I did want to check out anyway that's a little bit off the path and out of the rain, which is the World Showplace in between Canada and the UK. This pathway in between the UK and Canada is, for me, very representative of the crowd levels at Epcot and how busy it is. So to see it this quiet it's comfortable, but it's taken with a grain of salt, for sure. But I'm heading back here to the World Showplace, somewhere that I've never been before. It is definitely starting to rain. This is where they do some character meet and greets over here. Very spontaneously, they'll just have a bunch of characters that you can walk by and meet, get an autograph, get a picture. It's really cool. Okay, heading inside the World Showplace for the very first time ever. Wow, it is big. So this seems to be the most occupied venue in the entirety of Epcot. There are a few booths in here. There's the mac and cheese booth, the Appleseed Orchard booth, the desserts and champagne booth, and then the festival favorites booth. And it sounds like it just started to pour down rain, so I can see why there are so many people in here, but I'm still a little bit overwhelmed as to how big this space is. There's a lot of discussion as to where the attraction for the UK could go, and I'm guessing that this is a pretty viable option if they wanted to do away with it. So this is the festival favorites booth. Potato pierogi with kielbasa, a seafood fisherman's pie, and then spinaca pepita. I don't even know, but that's where you'd get it. Next up is the desserts and champagne booth, with what looks like a bunch of different chocolate cake pop options with mushrooms and Twix. So that's cool. This seems to be like one of the more popular booths. Next is the Appleseed Orchard booth with charcuterie and cheese plates and caramel apple popcorn. That sounds pretty good. Caramel apple popcorn. Ooh, they have frozen apple pie. That's good. Okay, and then finally maybe the most popular booth, this one, or the dessert booth, because there are a lot of people waiting in line for it. The mac and cheese booth with gourmet mac and cheese, buffalo chicken mac and cheese, and lobster mac and cheese, as well as regular mac and cheese. served with Italian sausage and peppers. Okay, well, a lot of different mac and cheeses there. That lobster one looks really good. So that is pretty much the entirety of this building, and again, there are just a lot of people in here, kind of surprisingly compared to the park. Even if it is raining right now, but I guess I'm gonna have to go find out. It could be the air conditioner, but it sounds like the rain. Okay, it was indeed the rain, not the air conditioner, but I still have activities to do. Maybe I can jump in line for Soarin' at some point, but I am curious just to see how quiet the World Showcase can look even on a day like today with the rain. Yep, seems pretty quiet here continuing around the World Showcase. I just have to make it through Canada and then back into Future World. Oh no, the rain's getting harder. All right, let's see what Canada has. They have what they usually have, so that's good. The Canadian cheddar and bacon soup, and then the wild mushroom beef filet mignon. That sounds pretty good. The cheddar soup is definitely fantastic. Coming to the final few booths here, we have the citrus blossom with the lobster tail and crispy citrus chicken. Wow. This is dangerous. I'm kind of getting my appetite back, but I am still satisfied with what I've got today. But I'm making mental notes for next time. Right across from Starbucks is the Hawaii booth, and they have the Kahlua pork slider and the teriyaki glazed Spam hash. Brennan loves that Spam hash, and I would definitely get either of those. Without a doubt, they sound fantastic. Is that my final booth, or do I have one more? One more booth, the Shimmering Sips booth, and they have a Shimmering strawberry soft serve, and then a plant-based banana bread. Oh no, those sound awesome. Okay, I gotta pass for now, but next time, if I can remember to, I will absolutely get one of the other of those. Probably the strawberry soft serve. All right, I'm heading back to Future World, wading through the water. My shoes are soaked. Thinking about going over to Soarin', but that may be where everybody is heading right now. Test Track is probably definitely closed. I have not heard it go by. The lack of kinetics in Epcot is a little bit odd, just not having Test Track go, not having the monorail go by above us, above me. It's a little bit, I keep saying this, it's sad. Today is either very comfortable or very sad, or just a combination of both for obvious reasons. See, even on a rainy day, this would still have a vast amount of people heading into and out of the World Showcase, as well as over here. This is the backside of the Taste of Epcot's International Food and Wine Festival sign that I walked past to get into the World Showcase. Spaceship Earth right back there. It's going to be interesting to see if they end up building that 3-layered pavilion, or if they do something with this area, hopefully soon. Still walls up around what used to be Mouse Gear and Interventions East as ahead over here by Test Track and Mission Space. Mission Space should be going currently. There's the new Mouse Gear right over there. Guardians of the Galaxy, the Wonders of Life Pavilion, the Play Pavilion, which is still allegedly happening, so that's cool. Test Track, which is currently closed, and then Mission Space, which should be operating, and then the Space 220 restaurants back there, which was, I think, supposed to open at some point, but it hasn't yet. Checking out the current status of Cosmic Rewind here. Doesn't really seem like there's much going on, at least with this entrance facade, but I know that there's going on a lot back there. I just tried to point with my umbrella. This weather is probably going to be going away here very soon, and it's getting a lot less intense right now, but I think I'm gonna go and head on out. I had a good trip back to Epcot. The idea today was just to get a little taste of it, and then hopefully come back soon. If I can get another park pass, if Brennan's blockouts go away, we can coordinate those together. That's the idea. I feel like we've been missing out on so much, but we're getting there. So on my way out of the park, I wanted to come over here to check out the park map to see if anything has been updated about this, which it has not. Universe of Energy is still on there, as well as the Innovations buildings and the Fountain Nations, even the monoliths out front. And there's really nothing new about the World Showcase at all. But if you grab an actual paper map, you can see that they have added the France Pavilion there, the extension of the France Pavilion. So that's cool, as well as they removed the Innovations buildings that are not here anymore, and the Fountain Nations. But now I'm heading out back to the car to try to hopefully beat the rest of the rain, at least. And like I've already said, what I did not get to do today, I'm just gonna have to come back and do with Brennan. Hopefully in the future, we can just get back to coming back and taking casual, enjoyable trips to Disney. And I think that's been the biggest demerit of the Park Pass, is just Brennan and I are very big on popping in Epcot at around 6 p.m. to eat some food and watch the fireworks, and that is something that's gonna be very hard to do for a while, but we'll manage. Definitely my favorite addition to come back to is just to see this entire half of the entrance done and matching the other side. It is just beautiful and such an improvement over the monoliths. Still interested to see where those end up, because I thought that they mentioned that they're gonna be creating a new home for them, which I thought was gonna be outside the front entrance, but we will see. All right, so that's gonna conclude my trip to Epcot today that I did not know that I was gonna be able to do until very recently, and I am very, very happy about it. I got to ride Spaceship Earth when I didn't think I was gonna be able to again. I got to ride the 3 Caballeros. Gonna take it back for Soarin' and Test Track, without a doubt, but I got some food around the World Showcase that I'm sure Brennan is probably jealous about, and whenever she can get back in and we can come together, then we will be getting some more food and just having an all-around good time. It was pretty pleasant in the rain today, surprisingly, just to, not even to put up with, but it was nice. It wasn't that bothersome. I'm just happy to be back, and yeah, I appreciate you hanging out with me and just during this really, really weird time in the entire world, and without a doubt at the theme parks. It's a good place to be, to feel comforted and to feel safe and at home, and if you want to come along for that, then I do appreciate that. But I'll see you soon. Have a good day, and goodbye.